Goal setting is something that many of us do time and time again, especially around this time of the year when we make our New Year's resolutions and we decide that this year is going to be the greatest. But how many times have you ever set goals only to check back in a few weeks, a few months, a year later, and to have made no real progress with them? I get it, it happens, it's happened to me 1,000,001 times. And luckily, not only is there something to attribute this lack of success to, but there's also a super quick and easy way to fix it. In this video, I'm going to teach you something that I had to learn the hard way, and something that I wish someone had told me a long time ago. I'm going to teach you the 5 simple steps that you need to set and achieve your goals and to help you reach your full potential in under 10 minutes. Make sure you stick around for the end of the video because I'm going to be giving you some more tips to help you to actually achieve the goals that you have set, to help you create and live the life that you have always wanted to live. And if that all sounds good and it sounds like something that you want to be involved in, let me know by giving the thumbs up button a click. And if you want to learn more about self-improvement and living the life that you have always wanted to live, then check out my channel, go ahead and subscribe and join this lovely little community. I can't wait to see you there. So I'm just going to come out with it. You're being vague. I know that sounds a little bit harsh considering that I know nothing about you or what your goals are, but hear me out. The number one reason that people don't achieve the goals that they've set is because they've been far too vague when setting them. Before we go any further, let's actually define what vague means. The dictionary defines vague as of uncertain, indefinite, or unclear character or meaning, which essentially just means when you don't give enough detail or specifics about something. Luckily for both you and I, there's a really easy way to overcome being too vague with your goals, and that's by using the SMART acronym. Setting SMART goals is the quickest and easiest way to ensure that you're setting a goal that you can actually achieve within a timescale that is realistic and measurable. I'm going to lay out what each of these letters mean for you, but in the meantime, it would be worth grabbing a pen and paper so that you can write down and follow along. When we're setting SMART goals, we need to focus on each of those letters. So S, M, A, R, and T all stand for something different and are all going to help us to achieve our goals. S stands for specific, and essentially it just means that your goal is clearly defined. Not that you need to share your goals with anyone, but it basically means that if anyone were to pick up your notepad and they saw the goal that you had written down, they would be able to understand exactly what you are going for. And specificity is so important because in order to truly reach a goal, you need to really understand what you're actually going after. You might want to be able to handstand. Let's make that a little bit more specific. Saying that you want to hold a handstand for 10 seconds with perfect form gives you a little bit more insight into what you're actually chasing and is going to help you to create and follow actionable steps each and every day so that you can actually reach it. So our next part is M, which stands for measurable. We essentially need to make sure that we have a way to not only measure our goal and measure when we reach it, but also measure our progress along the way. So this tends to be pretty easy if you're chasing a number. For example, trying to squat a certain weight, do a certain amount of pull-ups, or hold a handstand for a certain amount of time. Each of those has a number assigned to it. Using our previous example, the measurability of our handstand is 10 seconds, which can be measured and timed with a stopwatch or a timer on a phone or anything like that. So the key is we identify what we're looking for and then how we're going to measure it. So moving on, A stands for achievable. Simply put, your goal needs to be something that you can actually achieve. Now, it's really important to set yourself a goal that is going to challenge you within the time frame that we're going to set later on. When we're setting goals, it is really important that we make sure it's something that at some point we can actually achieve. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't look to challenge yourself and to step outside of your comfort zone. You should be setting yourself goals that are difficult and require hard work to reach them. So finding that balance between challenging yet achievable is really important and can be quite a fine line. So our fourth letter of the acronym is R, and this stands for relevant or realistic. Is that goal relevant to my life right now? For me, this is the most crucial part of setting my goals. Does that goal align with the person that I want to be and the direction that I want to take my life in? Your goal should have significant implications on your career, your personal development, your physical goals, etc., etc. And essentially, it should be something that helps you to move in the direction that you want to move in. I know that sounds obvious, but it's something that we need to remind ourselves of. This goal should be something that is useful to you at some point in your life, and is often a stepping stone to reaching the next stage. Now, that's not to say that you can't have completely unrelated goals. For example, having a goal to hold a handstand when that's actually got nothing to do with your career. But you do need to make sure that any skill or career focused goals are aligned with your overarching view of success and your desired trajectory of life. So finally, T. T stands for time bound, which essentially means that we need to put a time frame or a time scale on our goal. If you've watched my video about how to save money and set financial goals, you'll know that setting a time frame is so important to actually reaching any type of goal that you want to achieve. When you set a goal and you leave it open-ended, or you don't give yourself a time to achieve it in, it makes your goal A, seem very far away, and B, much less likely for you to be taking the actionable steps that you need to take every single day to reach that goal. So you need to ask yourself realistically, when do you want to achieve this goal by? Although we're setting a time frame, it needs to be something that is actually manageable to make sure that you can actually succeed. Give yourself some deadlines to work towards. It's proven that we work harder and we are more efficient when we have a time or an end date to work to. And if we know that, why not capitalize on it? A great example of this is by either starting or ending your goal with a date or a time. For example, by January the 31st, I will ... or I will ... by August the 30th, 2022. Make it as specific as you can and give yourself a date to work towards. So that is how to successfully set a SMART goal and what each of the letters of the acronym actually mean. If you follow this, you will no doubt have more success in actually achieving the goals that you want to achieve this year, next year, and for the rest of your life. I also have 3 key tips surrounding not only setting but reaching your goals. The first one being, say I will rather than I want to. This is kind of a psychological trick, but saying that I will do something is affirming, and it's not a question or a want or a desire. You are affirming that this is part of who you are and something that you are going to do, making it much more likely for you to actually do it. My second tip is to break your larger goals down into mini goals. When we set a goal, even if we go through the SMART acronym and we set it to be really specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound, it can still seem like a huge goal to try and hit, and it can be really overwhelming to know what you're supposed to do each and every day to reach it. So if you can, break your larger goal down into mini goals. For example, if you're looking to hit your overall goal in the next year, how can you break that down into things to achieve each month? This will allow you to feel a sense of success and achievement every so often. And finally, my third tip is don't wait for motivation. It's well known that our motivation comes and goes. When we're trying to achieve anything, discipline has to come over motivation. Create a routine, create actionable daily tasks that you can do day in, day out, and stick with them. Be disciplined and your goal will be in your hands sooner than you realize. Now go and set your goals and let me know what you're planning in the comments below. I would absolutely love to hear from you. But in the meantime, I'll see you in the next video.